Hey y'all, it's your legal bestie, attorney Symone, and I'm here with my girl Vanessa. Hey,
Hi.
shout out your channel.
Hi, guys. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. What you see on the screen, reality_recap. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. YouTube channel is Reality Recap 2876 for all your trending reality news. Happy to be here. What's the tea, Symone?
Excellent tea wine. I got my little red wine that I'm pouring. So listen, I have been deep diving, pulling documents, all of the above. Today we are talking about our girl, Miss Kenya Moore from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and why she is getting evicted again.
From Kenya Moore Hair Spa.
From the Kenya Moore Hair Spa. So this is not Moore Manor. She owns that. Okay. She is the owner of that. Now, as we're letting people come on in and join us. Now, B, when I start my show, because I, talk about other people's business all the time, I like to start by just telling a little bit of my own business, like what I've been up to. And this episode, y'all, is brought to you by my company. It's the Red Wine Law Firm, the title branch. We call it Experience Title. So if you are purchasing or selling a property anywhere in the state of Texas, we would be happy to win your business. You can give us a call. The number is there below, 214-575-8300. Again, that's properties anywhere in Texas. And we are also the sponsor of today's episode. And don't forget, you can always book a consult with me. It starts at just $200. You go to SymoneRedWine.com. That's the website there. You just hit up here. You can hit book with Symone. There's a calendar. You pick your time, and I can assist you with legal issues throughout America. Also, if you want to connect to the title company, there's a link here on my website at SymoneRedWine.com. You can go right there and do that as well.
Come on, company sponsored episode. Come on. And tell them about the background check, T. Tell them about that too.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I've forgotten. So on the YouTube channel, y'all, just under the banner, there's something called forums you can click. We are bringing back the background check episodes, okay? But I need more people to submit. Put in the person you're interested in getting information on. Remember, we don't dox people. We are not here to embarrass people, but we are here to help people find out who the heck you're really dealing with. So if you choose to come on, you can be anonymous. I don't give the name of the target, right? We block that out, and we block out identifying information, but we will allow you to come on live, and for free, we'll give you the information as well as like some legal assistance, give you some direction on how you can deal with your legal issues. So we've had people from someone who, their sister was getting engaged to someone, and the guy's story just didn't add all the way up. And so we investigated. I had a mom who had it felt like her daughter's boyfriend. Something was a little wonky. Come to find out, the reason he wasn't sticking around the family reunions is because he legally couldn't. He was an ex offender. He was registered, and they kept having these family reunions at a park. Ex offenders can't go to parks. They can't be within so many miles of a park. So submit. If you have a friend, share the link. I don't care if the friend has never watched my show. Definitely share the link and have, whoever your loved ones are, submit. We'd love to help.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I love to get the tea. So yes, submit. Let's find out the tea,
There you
honey.
go. Oh yeah, and my business for the week. I'm still single. I was thinking about going on Kendra G singles. I've watched it all the
saw you
time. I've
with
watched
her. I
it.
saw you with her, right?
Huh?
I
Oh,
saw
I
you
went
with
to her.
her.
She had an event in Houston last week at a bar around the corner from me. So I popped in. It was cool. What do y'all think? Here's my concern. I don't know that my soulmate watches Kendra G, but I'm hopeful that like his mama do, or his sister do, or his homegirl play sister from church. Sorry, y'all, I just ate some chicken wings. So I'm hoping that maybe that girl would see my segment and send it to her brother or cousin or play brother and be like, hey, this is a lovely young lady. She's effervescent. Don't steal from her so she can get married this time. You know?
I don't know. I
Ooh,
think she has a large audience. I've popped in a few times just to watch because I'm just a people watcher, but I don't know. I think you should do it. I really think you should. And you
okay. I'm
gotta
nervous.
sit
I've never even
still.
just tried. So, all
You
right, we'll
gotta
see.
sit
Hey,
still for a second. You know, you can't get married if you don't sit still just for a second.
seriously. And with me working from home and traveling the way I do, it's pretty much if you're not a burglar, if you're not the Xfinity man installing some type of service in my home, or you work in my doctor's office because I'm gonna go to the doctor because this sinus is killing me, then I'm probably not gonna meet you. Now, what I was gonna do, girls, I've really been thinking about. I do feel like all the real good ones are like already taken, or they're going to be coming out of a divorce, right? So I've been thinking about just sitting right outside that divorce court, just sitting on that bed and waiting for him to just kind of mosey on it, or going into the court and kind of see. Now, I want the one who he didn't do no wrong, not the one where she's getting rid of you because you trifling, right? Where she had to do one of those DNA tests where it tests your underwear and sees there's like women's stuff all in it. My homegirl has a business that does that. If you need anyone, by the way, that's Fast Labs now in Grapevine, Texas. You can test your stuff from anywhere. Dropping that sponsorship. But yeah, no, I think I'm going to, because funerals were a big hit for me too. I would go to funerals.
Funerals and
To meet
not,
Ian.
not okay, but not the
All right,
widow.
I'll get
You're
into
not
that
meeting
story.
the
Y'all want me to do a
husband.
story time on that? Let me know in the chat below if you want me to do a funeral bay story time
I
so
just
I
want
can
to make
stay on
sure you're
task.
not getting the husband and the wife is in the casket. You're not meeting the husband at the funeral, right?
Oh, I wouldn't mind. Well, she's not coming back. How do we not know she didn't send me for him in his time of mourning?
That's
We
what I'm
gonna
just
we
trying
gonna
to
talk it
figure
through.
out. Is it a
We
friend
gonna
of the
talk it through.
family or is it the widow?
Oh, it was definitely all of the frat brothers of the widower. Widower is
Oh,
the man, right?
okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, he went to the widower went to Stanford, and I love me some Stanford grads. Ooh. If you've ever met a Stanford Kappa, they are very handsome. The Stanford Kappas, Stanford Omegas. There's a plethora. A plethora. They're brilliant. That's all I'm gonna say. We gonna start there. But yeah, that repass. Shoot, that should have been one of Kendra G singles events. That was that, y'all. So if you're new here, I'm attorney Symone. This is V from Reality V Recap. Whenever we have people come on in, we do like a quick little intro. I always say I tell my business first since I get in here, and then I tell other people's business. So it's only fair. So I was just telling my business just for a moment, just a little, my stuff on why I'm still single and stuff like that. You can roll that back. Now we about to get into the legal tea. So I'm gonna start with V, what, if anything, do you know about this Kenya Moore eviction situation from her hair spa?
What I've heard previously, she had some struggles with the landlord. She owed
Thank you,
money.
Kimberly.
There's been eviction threats previously. There's been
Hmm.
content creators that go by the shop and it's, has brown paper on the windows and then it looks like she says it's open, but they go by and it's not open. She does her podcast from there, but she hasn't done one of those in
Oh,
a while. So,
oh,
yeah,
mm,
it seems like it's been an overall
mm,
struggle for her. We know from the episode
well,
she pretty much put all her money into it to get it started, and she was really hoping for a good return on investment with it. I personally think she should have just stuck to the hair care products. That was doing well, but she stepped into
hmm.
this lane and not in a franchise way. Hello, Angie.
Yeah.
Outlet
So
City.
let me speak to that just real quickly. Y'all know I was on like I had a little baby stint on a reality show. So I have a small amount of that experience. And what I can say is when you come off one of those shows or when you've been on them, you've got all these people in your ear telling you what's next, and pitching you business concepts and all these things and gassing you up. So what it seems like here is she started with the hair care line and she probably had people in her ear gassing her up, telling her, hey, salon's the next big step. Go for it. The challenge is this is a real difficult business. My family is in hair salons forever. Hey, Auntie Roz, if you're from the Denver, Colorado area, you may have known my Auntie Rosalind Redwine Salon, which was called Winning Coiffures for many years. Or in Dallas, Texas, my cousin Shannon Redwine, hers, it was New Beginnings Salon, and it's had a few names, but Shannon Redwine in Duncanville, Oak Cliff, off Camp Wisdom, right? What I'm saying is for Kenya, probably what she should have done was simply license her name to an already existing salon that was doing great, that had a good, consistent business, but then adding her licensing and her name to it would bring in some additional traffic. That way she wouldn't have had to build out an entire building, commercial building. She wouldn't have to, right now I remember she was complaining that she'd get a lot of people that wanted to come by or look, but they didn't want to book appointments because
Mhm.
they were trying to like see her and be around her, but they weren't trying to spend money to support her. So bless her heart for that. But I also had heard, and I don't know if this was a policy from inception or added later, that the deposit required for the appointments was 100% of your service. Um, I can say for Black women, how we get our hair done, we like, what? Huh? And it was
Right.
like a non-refundable type of deposit.
Well, how they
Girl,
do that? Because
that'll make me.
the website don't work for me. So how was they submitting their deposit?
Well, at
Because
one
the
point,
website was
we're
closed.
gonna get to why the website's not working, but at one point
Okay.
it was working. Let me know in the chat if y'all had heard that. The part about having to put down like a full deposit. I recently got my hair, like my hair silk pressed at this wonderful place in the Houston area, Black owned place. They do scalp silk press. They're known for helping your hair grow healthily. Let me tell you, I loved it. But then I was like, they were like, you need to be consistent with your trims, 8 weeks. And I was like, okay, go ahead, schedule me 8 weeks from now. And they're like, oh, it's 100% deposit. I'm like, now, girl, because 8 weeks from now, I don't know what's going on. I barely know what day my cycle's coming. Okay. I don't know what city I'm going to be in. I don't know this, that, or the third. And I
Exactly.
don't want to go through the whole hullabaloo if you have some type of, cancellation policy where you can't cancel. So even if it was a half deposit, I would have felt more comfortable. So I'm just saying, it sounds like this was too big of a feat for her going in. And it was
Mhm.
kind of almost destined for challenges or failure. Somebody said,
Yeah.
Kenya lied. That place never been open.
And you know what I also think? I
Ooh,
feel like
hold
she was
on. We got to talk about that now.
Kenya lied. That place
Do we
has
know
been.
do we know anybody that's ever been? Oh, it says she takes bookings on Style Seat. The website never worked though. Okay, well then that's what happens when you got all these people who are telling you. And what happened is whoever is her business partner probably pitched her a whole hullabaloo of some dreams and did not come through. Because the thing is, when you are a person like Kenya, you ain't got time to be overseeing this on a daily basis. You got stuff to do. But they're saying, does anyone know if the salon was ever open? I don't know. Let me know in the
I've
chat.
only seen on the Instagram page where there's women that like stylists post that they've done their hair. But even when I see the women in there on the Instagram page
Mhm.
getting their hair done, there's like no other clients. Like you don't see where there's a row of stylists doing hair. It's like one person in there at a time with one
Okay.
stylist. That's
Mm-hmm.
all I've ever seen.
Gotcha. Huh. Okay. But it was open according to the whatever you saw.
According to
Kenya
the
Salon.
website, but yeah, I mean the website said 2 days
Oh
ago they
wait.
opened for business, right? So I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
true. But
On their
which
Instagram
but
page.
but were you saying the posts that you saw were people getting their hair done in there?
Yeah, but like one person, one
Gotcha.
stylist. That's it. That's all I
Okay.
saw
So we don't
on
know if
their
it was just
Instagram.
staged. Gotcha. All right. So we're getting into it now. We're gonna get in the lawsuit. I'm gonna put the documents up. Now this is I'm gonna come back to this comment here. Now we gotta start. I'm gonna take you there now. Hold on, here we go. Boom. All right. So first off, context matters. Context matters. All right. So if you remember, this is not Kenya's first time getting evicted. Okay, Radar Online back in 2013 posted Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kenya Moore evicted from the mansion. See the notice. Okay, they had this whole little article in June of 2024, and it says the owner of the 6-bedroom, 6-bathroom house. So basically, prior to Moore Mansion, Kenya was renting a home, a little mini mansion in Atlanta.
Mhm.
And it said that this was weird. It said that it was basically a $4,000 a month mansion she was living in. Y'all, inflation is a bitch, ain't it? You cannot get a $4,000 mansion in Atlanta.
How
No
many
more.
bedrooms was it? You said 6?
It says 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms in the
4,000?
suburban area of Roswell.
Wow.
Now, I don't live in Atlanta. Y'all that live in Atlanta, tell me, can you get a 6-bedroom, 6-bath? I think it was 4,000 square foot place in the Roswell type area for $4,000 a month. I don't think so. And it says, according to a neighbor, the former Miss USA is, quote, the neighbor from hell. And her landlord, a woman named Kanya Weems, was inundated with complaints ever since Kenya moved in. In that it said that according to the documents, Kenya failed to make the full rent payment for May. She was $884 short. When I see a number like that for someone like Kenya, I'm like, something in the milk ain't clean. There got to be more to it because she got $848. And then it said the homeowner was very upset at the unwanted attention that Kenya was bringing to the neighborhood. And basically that Kenya was going down and she was tearing up the neighborhood, this, that, and the third. Okay.
What
So I
was
was
she
like, ooh,
doing in the neighborhood, right? Because I know
they
this
weren't
is
clear.
on the show.
So then I said, well, wait a minute now. I said, before I get up here on Beyonce's internet and start talking about, well, this ain't the first time Kenya was evicted. I said, let me get the court documents. Yeah. Bye-bye. Let me tell you about this lady, Miss Kanya Weems. Miss Kanya Weems. Miss Kanya
Mhm.
Weems. I'm going to take this
Some of us
banner
know
down
who
while I
that
see this.
is, right? Some
Hold
of us
on.
know who that is.
Let me tell you
That's
about it.
OG.
Miss
OG
Kanya
Atlanta
Weems. I
resident.
need you to hear. Hold on, I'm going to put my big face up here. I'm going to take this out for just a minute. Hold on. Miss Kanya Weems, the woman that went to Radar Online and put that story about Kenya getting evicted, not being able to pay her rent. So she said Kenya couldn't pay her rent in the $4,000 a month mansion that she rented to her, and that Kenya was on TV living a life that she really couldn't afford. Now, to that end, we got to play this clip. If you know, you know.
Shocked, honey. I was in tears
Hold on.
almost. And
Wait,
it
wait,
had
wait,
a
wait. We
white
got this clip. Hold
refrigerator. I
on.
was like,
Hold on.
oh,
Hold
not a
on.
white. Girl, please put your shoes
Y'all
on. Let's go
remember.
find you a home.
Y'all
Honey.
remember this
Ooh,
clip.
Lord.
Hit that like. Here we go. Start it over. All right.
This is where you live, honey. Let me see what's going on. Oh, Elvis, show me around. Oh, let me see. I was shocked, honey. I was in tears almost. And it has a white refrigerator. I was like, oh, not a white refrigerator. Girl, please put your shoes on. Let's go find you a home, honey. Ooh.
I know the connection is cutting up, so let me pause it. Hold on, y'all. I know the connection is cutting up. I'm sorry. Give me a second. It's catching up. It's catching up. Y'all, because y'all got to see this. This is significant. Hold on. All right, V, we're back. Okay, I see you, V. All right, we're going to play this
Yeah.
clip. You got to see this clip now.
This is where
Here
you
we go.
live, honey. Let me see what's going on. Oh, they ever showed me around. Oh, let me see. I was shocked, honey. I was in tears almost. And it has a white refrigerator. I was like,
Oh, no,
not
it's
a
good.
white refrigerator. Girl, please put your shoes on. Let's go find you a home, honey. Oh, Lord.
The ghetto.
Exactly. Y'all remember? So basically the point of that clip was the white refrigerator. Well, it appears the white refrigerator and stuff. I don't know if that was the same house, but I think it was her trying to like find.
We losing you, Symone. We losing you.
Okay, can you even see me without? Hold on, let me add you back.
We can hear you.
Can you see me now and hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, let me pull this down. I don't know if it was just
And
too
they
much
have a-
media for him. Here we go. All right, we back. Sorry, guys. Somebody said that was a hotel she was in. Yeah, so I'm saying I'm not sure. There we go. We coming back.
But you are right.
There we go.
That is
All right, so I see you, Vanessa.
Yes. But you are absolutely correct. That is the
Yeah.
the
Well, someone said it was a hotel.
That was a hotel that she had to move into after what you just put on the eviction because she was paying the rent. Yes, you are absolutely correct.
Yes, correct. Thank you, Sunny. She said that season she got evicted and was staying at the hotel. But wait a minute. No, I'm not about to play with this internet like that. I have 4 bars, so I'm not sure what's going on. Hold on. It says, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like. Excuse me. All right. Now, like I said, I'm not about to come in here and talk all this stuff about Kenya without the facts, right? So we know she got evicted and then had to come into this little hotel with the white refrigerator. I am here to vindicate Kenya on this eviction. Because, baby, I pulled the documents. Here we go. When we hear about it, like to hear it go. Baby, the judge was not playing with Miss Weems. That was the landlord, okay? That was the landlord. Hold on, I'm going to switch it. It's this one, actually. Switching it up. Remove this one. Here we go. So Miss Weems is the landlord of the place that evicted her, allegedly. Baby, the judge tore Miss Weems a new booty hole, okay? Miss bald-headed scallywag. Hold on. The internet was cutting up now. I want to be very clear. I'm going to say it again. I was saying, Miss Weems, the plaintiff here that evicted Kenya, was in that courtroom acting like a bald-headed scallywag, according to these documents that I have here. Now, let me show it to you. First of all, now, basically, she sues Kenya for the unpaid rent, claiming, oh, Kenya didn't pay rent for whatever the last month was, and then for some like unpaid, it had like a pool and all this type of stuff, and she was claiming that Kenya didn't pay for the utilities, the upkeep of the pool, etc. However, this itch failed to include Kenya sent her the rent check, and she refused to cash it. So Kenya was never behind on her rent. She did not default. So the judge found Kenya did not pay her. She took the check and chose not to cash it. Not only did she choose not to cash it, then Kenya was only supposed to pay the utilities like for the pool and those maintenance stuff after being notified of what it was. Because, each month it could change. And the judge was like, nothing in the contract says precisely when Kenya is supposed to pay these, let's call it ancillary portions, right? And therefore, the fact that
I think we lost you again.
Okay, am I back now?
Yes.
I should be good now. Okay, sorry about that. So it was saying, number one, Kenya sent her the rent check. She refused to cash it, claiming that Kenya was in default. Wasn't in default. Secondly, the judge said the landlord never told her how much she owed in the month in question for the swimming pool, the this, that, and the third. And then once she told Kenya the amount, Kenya was like, I'll give it to you. You never confirmed what the price was. Bald-headed scallywag. I don't know if she's bald-headed. I actually don't know what this woman looks like. But Y'all, the bigger kicker, this lady, Miss Weems, she was so freaking messy. She went to True Entertainment, True or Truly, whatever it is, the production company for Real Housewives, and told them Kenya don't pay her rent. Kenya's finna get evicted. That. So it sounds like maybe she wanted to get famous. Maybe
That's
she
the
wanted to be
thing
on an
with it.
episode herself. So you know what Miss Kenya Moore did? Kenya Moore is not afraid to sue you back. Kenya sued her back. And in the end, Kenya won. Kenya won. So when I said in the beginning, this ain't the first time Kenya been sued for eviction, I'm going to tell you the last time Kenya won. Because what the judge said, basically, the amount that Kenya already tried to pay you, stupid, bald-headed scallywag hoe, is what you're going to get. But because you messy and you sat up there and you went to that girl's job and you cut up over there and then you lied and defamed her, the other thing she got in trouble for, the landlord, was she went to Radar Online and gave them that information to publish that fake story, that inaccurate story. It was an inaccurate story.
Mhm.
Then the judge penalized her again. So Kenya got $10,000 from old girl, got her punitive damages, etc., etc. And we all know from Tasha K, punitive damages cannot be wiped away in bankruptcy. So that's that. So, all right. Now, so that's the old white refrigerator situation. We'll remove this. And we in there today. Now this one is a little tricky. It says, Kenya basically told us her salon landlord wasn't honoring the agreement, quote, and she might win this one too. Well, Alex, boom, you got it, but stay with me. We got some twists and turns up in this bitch. All right, so basically what the landlord is trying to say here, this is the lawsuit. The landlord is claiming that at this point, Kenya Moore in her salon, when it started, when the what they call it, the default, when the default started, there's two forms of default they're claiming. Number one is they're claiming failure to pay rent, and number two, they're claiming that she illegally sublet. Let me tell you something right here. Is a black woman. I don't know if you don't know me. I'm black. My mama black. My daddy's black. My mom's not even mixed. As a black woman who's been in salons all the time, one of the things we know all black salons do is what? Booth rental. So it appears that what they are calling to be an illegal sublease is booth rental, dum-dums. That's why I say DEI is critical when you're hiring law firms for various jobs and positions, because if I had been on the side of the landlord's legal team, when I saw that they're calling this illegal sublet, I was like, sir, this is booth rental. That's actually not an illegal sublet. It just means this chair goes to old girl right here, or this lash tech over here, dum-dum. And I'm still responsible for the overall rent. So that's that. And the second part, though, is the unpaid rent. So here's what they're saying. Basically, the monthly rent that Kenya was supposed to pay was about $5,000 a month. Now, Kenya mentioned foot traffic was difficult. She had difficulty getting it going and getting the money flowing consistently. And it kind of looks like maybe that never happened. All right. So this was the amount that she was supposed to pay. And it said, number one, okay. So these were the amounts. Now, here's the thing. When I looked at the documents, y'all, and this 5011 fucking documents, it's 5011. There's a contract too, and we'll skip to that as well. Here's the crazy thing. When they first gave her the notice of default, she only owed $10,000. Let me see if I can skip to that page.
And honestly, looking at this monthly rent, I mean, I was expecting just how large it is. I thought it was going to be a lot more than
right.
$4,700 a month. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like we can do that now. You should be able to cover that now. I don't know which exhibit is this one. Yes, so here it was. Okay, this is a default letter. Let me pull off this banner. You guys know what the deal is there. Let me pull off this banner so y'all can see. There we go. So this was a default letter that she got. I think this was the second one. And at this point, let me go back a little bit. It's a little foggy, but so they're claiming that it grew to $38K. However, there we go. When it started, It should be this one. Yeah, when it started, okay, like February of, it kept going. At one point, it was only like, okay, here we go. The lease, which now totals 15,000. It actually 15,000. Okay, so she was only behind 10 or 15,000. But peep this, y'all, follow me. Then they allowed it. They said it kept growing and growing, etc. Here's the tea. Here is the tea. I'm gonna go back up to the first page. Now they're wanting like 60K, right? It's so basically when it first started, it was only like 15. The real issue is Kenya was saying, hey, she done did all this improvements to the property, which is what happens, which is what you do for the build out. You make it look nice. So as an attorney that does real estate law, as you know, I own a title company. I had the number down below. What it was is that you then can get what's called a tenant allowance. So Latoria, what she's saying makes sense. Kenya is saying she is not paying nothing because she put all the money into doing the building. That is correct. That's Kenya's defense. Specifically, the contract does say, it says Kenya Moore is entitled to what's called a tenant allowance of up to $79,000. We're going to round it up. $80,000 for the improvements that she makes to the premises. Because obviously when her lease is up, those improvements stay. And the other reasons landlords do that is, let's say Kenya either gets evicted or Kenya decides, I don't want this. I don't want to rent from this location anymore. And she's going to go elsewhere. Number one, she's going to have to build out the new place more than likely. But number two, that landlord can now lease this place for a premium to any other hair salon because now it's been built out to be a hair salon. It was literally nothing. It was a box. Think of just like if you were to just buy a trailer. It had no plumbing hookups, no electricity. Like it had the electricity ability, right? But the sockets weren't in any specific place. Like it's just bare. So I negotiate tenant allowances for clients all the time. So that's what Kenya is saying.
So I guess that makes sense then that the rent is so low because of what it was at the beginning. I guess I'm looking at what it became saying, wow, $4,700 a month. That's really cheap. But she, as we know,
But to get to that, she had to put in $80,000 of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Someone say, I don't like Kenya, but this is messed up. Says, okay, I bet it won't be $5,000 a month no more. So that's a problem. So the rent is $5,000. That stays. It doesn't change. And actually, what happens is you don't even have to start paying rent according to their contract. She didn't have to start paying rent until it opened, basically until the salon opened or a number of months had passed. In other words, if it takes you too long to get your salon open, landlord's entitled to some rent. So either when it opens or 240 months. And so what Kenya's saying is, you up here sending me, y'all saw it. They sent her in February a default notice talking about some, you owe us 15,000. And she was like, well, hold up. You owe me 80,000. So that part, little stupid. But y'all, somebody was stupider. I don't know if it was a contractor or her lawyers. I don't like talking bad about nobody lawyer because I don't know him. It ain't personal. But baby, let me tell you where we got the problem. Where we got the problem at. Okay. The problem is this. In order for Kenya to get that $80,000 she wants as reimbursement for the improvements she made to the property, Kenya's team was supposed to provide the landlord basically with some documents that proved that the improvements were made up to code, that all of the contractors that you hired to make the improvements have been paid and therefore are not going to attach a lien, what's called a mechanic's lien, to the property that would then give the landlord a headache and expose the landlord for being sued because unpaid contractors. Does that make sense, Vanessa?
It makes sense, and it makes me say in my head, because we know from me and other sources that she had trouble with the contractors and getting this off the ground, and even from off the show. So,
girl, was that on the show? I didn't watch the show. Was it on the show that the contractors were acting a fucking fool?
Like she had a bit of trouble trying to get it built out. So now I'm saying it was looking good, but it's feeling like we about to crash.
So here's the thing. It was looking real, real good. It said the lease includes a landlord's contribution under which The landlord shall reimburse the tenant for hard costs that she incurred with respect to performing the tenant's work, which is the improvement, up to the amount of 79,000. We're going to round that to 80, provided that a requisition is submitted, meaning a request submitted by Kenya as required in Exhibit C, and it's pasted down here below, within 18 months after the lease commences. The lease commenced November 22nd of 2022. Keep that in mind. November 22nd, 2022. 18 months from that is like, I think that's March of 25. And you got to provide all of these things. Here's what she had to provide. Tenant's complete application for payment of the landlord's contribution, accompanied by invoices covering all of the tenant's work, invoices showing she paid for the work, a certificate of final completion issued by the tenant's architect. That way he knows it was done according to the plans, because the landlord has to approve the plans. They have to submit completion of the tenant's work, including the punch list. Those are items you need to improve. This is what's most important. D, lien waivers from each of the tenant's contractors and each subcontractor performing any such work underneath another contractor, and each material man, meaning each. If you used Jose, Enrique, Eduardo, James, Jerome, Leon, whoever else you have, Hunter could be doing stuff. All of those men providing material for each work have to sign off and say, we provided this, you paid us. Then a true and correct copy of the certificate of occupancy for the premises. Leave me alone. Yeah, a certificate of occupancy. Right? That's critical, because without that, you're really not supposed to be up in there. You're not supposed to be doing nothing. And then a receipt by the landlord of the tenant's built plan, and the tenant shall have open for business. The problem is Kenya didn't provide it within the time frame. Specifically, it says, stop calling me, sorry.
It's
That's the pharmacy.
Who didn't read
it says plaintiff's representative emailed her more vision asking for the documents multiple times and even gave 2 extensions. It said first from May 10th to May 31st, they gave an extension. And then they did it again from the 31st to June 7th. It said more vision did not deliver to the plaintiff the required requisition materials outlined in Exhibit C, which is what I just talked about, to the lease on or before the June 7th extension of the deadline. Therefore, under the contract, she loses that $79,000 and still got to pay her rent. See, because baby girl was withholding the rent thinking, and I'm sure a lawyer or somebody told her, maybe her broker, I don't know, but this is too much for one human to be running a new business. Her business partner failed her. I feel bad for her. It sounds like a lot of people failed her. V, what you thinking?
Can you hear me?
Say it again.
You can hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, can you hear me?
I'm all over the place listening to this, because when you first started, I think I'm thinking, well, that's cool. She could just
it's not over. There's more.
Yeah, I'm thinking, she could just
keep going.
Some receipts, and that's cool. But then it goes into all these waivers, and I'm just saying, who didn't read the fine print? Who was on her law team that didn't say, hey, make sure you get, if you're going to go this route, make sure you get all the waivers and stuff. And honestly, I really think that Kenya thought that she would be on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and that would help drive her business. And the fact that she got cut short with the nonsense I think that also,
I forgot about that. You're so right. You're so right. So I'm going to tell you that somebody is saying, who didn't read the contract well? Here's the thing. That's normal of a landlord-tenant contract. Here's what's also normal. A lot of times you'll just get a rent concession. So a lot of times the landlord's not going to give you that check. They'll just give you a credit towards the rent once you can prove those things. But more than likely what usually happens is the tenant will hire a commercial real estate broker. The broker, and they'll hire the broker because the broker is getting paid a commission. And they don't also hire a lawyer. If she had hired me as a real estate lawyer, which I have done for many people, and looked over that contract, I said, ain't no motherfucking way we are agreeing to this material man's provision and to the subcontractor provision, because you're not going to be able to find these people. What ends up happening is, number one, like when I would write those men the check, I would have to make them sign one of those forms right there before they could get their check. Or two, you end up in a dispute with somebody who claims they did work they didn't do, and now that person's not going to sign. And it looks like one person alone not signing effed up her $79,000. So you would want a lawyer to go back in and make that more reasonable. That, under the way that these kind of build outs go, no way. But what happens a lot of times, commercial brokers will say, oh, you don't need a lawyer, I'm your broker, because the broker gets paid a commission from the landlord. So that broker really wants to get hired and signed. And like if you're on TV like this, right, you're competing. There's a bunch of brokers trying to get your business. So you don't want to be like, yeah, I'm your broker, but then, oh yeah, I recommend you have Symone the lawyer look at your stuff, baby. And here we are today. It says general contractor. Go ahead.
Why didn't she just call Angie K, y'all? Y'all know Angie K over in Salt Lake City got a successful hair salon and franchise business. Why she ain't just call Angie K and open her up?
Yeah. Because somebody pitched her a can of boo-boo doo-doo tt caca. Okay. And they probably pitched it to her when she was at a time when she's getting rid of Mark, trying to create a nest egg and something to give Brooklyn. And they told her some foolishness, and they looked like they could back the shit up. Look at Peter. Peter run around opening up businesses that close next Tuesday every time. Yet and still somebody does business with Peter, who's now in prison. Bria's saying a general contractor is responsible for getting those lien releases because they pay them. The GC has to take responsibility and release Kenya if he does not. Correct. So the answer is depends on your contract. That's what I would say for a GC contract. I would say both. GC has to do that, or GC is responsible, or GC's not. I'm not paying my GC until he provides me that. Part of the problem, though, is you actually won't necessarily know all the subcontractors your general contractor is using. You may not know them all at the time. And so that's a challenge. And then secondly, she would still need to restructure the section that says what she has to do to get her $80,000 from the landlord. Oh, but there's a little dippy turny. Hit that like, y'all, as you're watching, please, and thank you.
Lord, there's more.
And subscribe. Yes, there's more. All right. So I was like, po Kenya, po little tink tink. It says at least on the federally funded construction projects you've worked with, that's how it goes. Okay, I believe it. So the question is, has she lost her hair salon? The answer is, unless she wants to pay. Right now, they've run it up to $60K. It looks like it's $30,000 in true unpaid rent. And here's the thing: if she's been open, the way it appears she's done business, and comparing to the last alleged eviction lawsuit that was against her, Kenya still had her money and she had her coins. I believe Kenya, if it's open, she's probably taking her rent checks and putting it into account and just saying, I'm not giving you shit till the judge tells me I have to, little stupid, because you didn't sue me. So Kenya will have to pay the rent. The question becomes, but is she entitled to the 70? So that's the challenge. But also, looking at this gosh darn thing, this was a 10-year lease. You see that? Yeah. This was a 10-year lease. Wow. She's in like year, I don't know, maybe two to three. So therefore, she may want to get out of it because she don't want to pay the rest of this. But that's why they're claiming that they are owed 60 some thousand, is they're trying to basically they're not at this point putting her on the hook for all 10 years, but they're basically trying to put her on the hook for more. Hey, Tia's on TV. You get to go. You and your homegirl get to go play now. You can come back, close the door. Hey, La Mama, this is Addison. I'll let you know when you can come in if y'all want to say bye. Okay, to the people on the internet. Sorry. She got a little, so that's the same little one from yesterday, y'all. Addison, she's 3 years old. She loves you.
So before you keep going, do you want to play the clip of what we saw? that I sent you earlier?
Yes. So the question is, are they even open? Here we go. Yes, let me pull this down. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba, ba. Here we go. Oh, here we are. Are they even open remains the question. So this is the I love my girl V. This is what V found, y'all. She's our little detective.
My girl Millie Chun.
There we go.
Hi, it's your girl Millie Chun, and I am at Kenya Moore Hair
Today, y'all,
Spa.
today.
Y'all know I'm on my way home. I decided to make a little detour just, to bring it back. It's been about 3 years, so let's see what has changed. Let's go. Well, this time there's no butcher paper on the wall.
Oh,
okay. And there is actual furniture in here. Y'all, we have some wigs. Oh,
y'all
my
see that
gosh.
padlock on the door?
Her legendary lives.
Oh.
Okay.
Pobrecita.
She got some wigs in here. Her dresses. Y'all, the Beyonce dress is back there in the back. You see it? And then she got her Rita dress from Sesame Street right here. I love this dress. This was real pretty.
Very pretty.
So, I don't know if Kenya is in here. The store says it's open, but it's a little different this time.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's really going on with Kenya and this place or whatever. I'm sure we'll find out soon. But right now, it ain't open. Well, that's our little detour, and we're going to head on to Alabama. So we'll try to get through this traffic. Shout out to everybody in Atlanta.
What's happening in Alabama?
But I just had to make a quick stop.
That's
It's been
because
a minute since I've been here, and there have been some changes. It's your girl Millie Chan. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you, Millie Chan. All right.
Yeah.
So there you see there. There we go. So there you see there. As of today, it was not open. And here's the thing. They may be negotiating, like Kenya's team and the landlord's team negotiating on some settlement amount. But it appears that the contractors are largely at fault. If they were not doing it, girl, I've been there. You know, the way they try to do us as women, if we don't have a man, either business partner or someone else that's like overseeing how it is hell. So it appears that my understanding or expectation is basically contractors were screwing her over. So she may have had some disputes with contractors and therefore not had the releases in time. Because this is the other evidence that I want to share on the screen. So here's the thing. Remember, the contract said Kenya had to provide within 18 months a certificate of occupancy, among other things. Y'all, look at this. I pulled the permits for the property because, you know, I'm your girl. I like receipts. I don't care about people's feelings. I want to see the receipts. The receipts here show that basically it was a variety of different things that were needed, some of which weren't even completed, like this particular thing. What was this one? This first one says commercial mechanical. The final, that was completed. It says this one was March of 2024. We've got March for different months, but you'll see some of them, a lot of them were fails. A lot of them were fails. This isn't Kenya that's failing it. It's her contractors. A number of them, from mechanical to electrical.
Back up for me. Back up,
girl.
For me,
Go ahead.
Back up for me, because you know I got a process. We talked about how she had to have the waivers and that these had to be past inspections. So you telling me that the inspections from the contractors were failing as well? So that's
Correct.
also something she cannot provide?
Correct. Yes, because the contractors were.
Can she sue the contractors?
And probably will. Yes, and should. The problem is that most of these contractors ain't got no their money. They don't have money. You'll be lucky if they have insurance. But and a lot of that's why I only pay contractors via PayPal or credit card. Some of them will say, "Oh, I can't take a credit card." Once they say that, it's because they keep getting disputes. I even use PayPal. I had a contractor when I first got my Houston property, and PayPal would actually send me a notice that says, "Wait, before we pay this contractor, we need you to look at the work and approve it." I really appreciated that. So, yep. So
Have we
so
learned
it's
nothing
saying,
from Chateau Sheree? Have we learned nothing from Sheree and Chateau
girl,
Sheree? They live right down the
I want
street.
to know who is her business partner and why, because there's no way she got into business by herself. I don't believe that. And then here you go here. Look, all the way. It says inspections in July of 2024. Now remember, she signed the contract November of 2022. 18 months later was when she was supposed to submit the request for the 79,000 and the proof that the permits and certificates of occupancy. So you can't get a certificate of occupancy if you ain't got all the permits done, right? The permits got to happen, then the certificate. So what I'm showing you here, this shows that on July 31st of 2024, darn near 2 years later, past the 18-month mark, she had not passed the inspection. It was a fail. Now, I'm not going to blame her for this fail. It says the fail was because the inspector came, nobody was there to let them in. So that's an automatic fail. So then they rescheduled. Here's what sucks for her. They didn't even reschedule to September. Poe Kenya had to wait 2 months. So September 12th, they were able to do this inspection, and there she passed. Now, that was an inspection, it says, for life safety, which is OTC, like life safety. Basically, it's a step before you get a certificate of occupancy. You still got to get a certificate of occupancy. So I'm just using that as further evidence to show. It says she spent $200. I believe she did. Because remember, the contract says she gets a tenant allowance or tenant improvement allowance of 80,000. Whatever that amount is, it's never enough. It's never enough. So I believe she spent 20, thinking, okay, I'm spending 20. And what happens is the contractors know how much your allowance is. So they always ratchet up whatever they cost going to be. So she probably was expecting, okay, I paid 200. I'm going to get 80 back. I'm basically investing 120. It's a 10-year lease. I'm going to be here for 10 years. Somebody else asked, why would she sign a 10-year lease? For commercial leases, that is the norm.
Yeah.
That's the norm. You actually do want to lock that in, because what happens is where she has it at, great foot traffic, great neighborhood, all that stuff, it's going to be way more expensive in 10 years than $5,000 a month. I promise you. In the same way that the other lease we showed at the beginning of the mini mansion that she had, that was $4,000 a month for a 6-bedroom, 6-bath mansion with a pool and 10 years later now, ain't no way that is $4,000 a month. Okay.
I don't drink coffee. I'm a mama too.
I thought she was talking to me, girl. I wouldn't put that on the screen. I thought she was talking about me. But all right, let me pull that. But hold on. Now to the good news. So let's talk. We got some little legal rambling. See, but it actually looks like, guys, Miss Kenya, although on the law and on the facts and on the contract, it looks like the landlord's going to win. And based on the timeline, just what I'm looking at here now, we haven't had motions, whatever. Kenya, it looks like Kenya doesn't have proof that she submitted to the landlord all the things that she needed to submit by the deadline to get the 79,000, right? Mm-hmm. Because from what I showed you there, within the 18 months, it doesn't look like she received them all right? And they gave her the extension. However, I tell people all the time, when they call my office, don't forget, anywhere in America, you can go to SymoneRedwine.com, book a consult with me. They start at just $200 for 30 minutes. I tell people, listen, you can sue, but that doesn't mean you're going to collect. So if your goal, for some people, the goal of suing is principle. For other people, the goal of suing is money. Listen, if this landlord's goal is money, he is a stupid fool. He's probably not going to get paid. Because look at this. Look who he sued. More Vision Media, quote, and all other occupants. All other occupants would refer to, basically, this would be his way to evict anyone who was doing booth rental or commission rental or anyone that was like renting space in her salon. That doesn't include Kenya Moore. He did not sue Kenya Moore.
So who is the landlord's lawyer? Nobody has a good lawyer in this.
Another dum-dum today. Or this is what happens when you use like template lawsuits and you just pull a template out the thing. Or I think they may have gotten, what is it? Like when you get like starstruck, right? They're like, oh, it's Kenya Moore. I don't need to do that. See, little stupid. It's a section in the contract. This is very, very long, so I'm not gonna find it. That covers guarantors. So usually what'll happen is More Vision is her LLC, you see, or corporation, More Vision Media Inc. But usually companies that got sense, they got good lawyers, also require the guarantor to be Kenya Moore herself. Because the question is More Manor at risk? Is More Manor at risk?
You took the words out my mouth. I wanted to know. Is
More Manor at risk?
Caught up in this.
No, it's not. Because Kenya outsmarted them. Go, Kenya, go. Go, Kenya, go.
One win.
She outsmarted them. Because the lease is only with More Vision Media and not also Kenya Moore, they can only get the assets from More Vision Media. They can't take Kenya Moore Manor.
And what's under More Media? Is it just her podcast that she was doing from there that she's only did a handful of episodes? What is
honey, it could be whatever she wants, and she can put it in and take it out. Put it in and take it out. I need a man. Put it in and take it out. Put it in.
She watching because her lawyer needs your help.
So, for example, more than likely, like when I did reality TV, I use an LLC to get my checks. So she might use it to have her checks deposited because it's like, it can go there. She can take tax deduction for her makeup, her wardrobe, her blah, blah, blah. It could be her LLC. I mean, it could be her podcast. So it could be where she has YouTube money sent. But here's the thing. The only assets, if they win, so we don't know, if the landlord wins, the only assets he can seize, take, or garnish are the assets of More Vision Media. So if they don't have no assets, he ain't get no money.
Yeah, and I know they were saying like More Vision Media is her production company. So I think her show that she was filming inside the salon is under that, and any movies or
when you say show, you mean the podcast, right? You mean the podcast, right?
Yeah, the podcast, and then she's also dibbled and dabbled in the movie production business, but not recently for there to be, in my opinion, for there to be some large money they could get out of that.
Right. So my point is this, like, even if let's say it's the podcast, let's say she's even working on a reality show. All she has to do is go back to the people she's working on the reality show with and say, hey, need to do a contract amendment. Instead of More Vision Media, you're going to now contract with, Brooklyn Enterprises or whatever she wants to call it. She can change who they're contracting with. And especially if it's the end of a contract. These
even
people,
legal, like even while she's in like litigation,
she don't have a court order. Unless and until you have an order that is final, you can move stuff and it's not considered, because what you want to avoid is what Tasha K was allegedly doing, which is the illegal transfer of assets to avoid seizure from a lawsuit, right? That's what you want to avoid. Here, we're in the middle of a dispute. Kenya Moore just on the 22nd of October filed her answer. So it's still very early. It's going to be a whole trial, etc. So Kenya now, especially whenever any contract is done, first of all, with the podcast, like I got a podcast, all you got to do is tell Google and YouTube, put my checks over here. Go ahead, put it in my mama account. Or you just say, instead of you paying and using the EIN for More Vision Media, you give them a new EIN. They don't care. They gonna bring you your check. Does that make sense, y'all? Let me see. Somebody says,
my question was like Tori is saying, when we talked about Drew was moving stuff, but she was in the middle of the divorce, so it wasn't.
See, now she can't do that. Now you can't do that in the divorce. But Kenya is a free woman of color. Okay, she ain't got no divorce lingering over her head or anything else. So, if she were watching, I would say, of course, consult with your attorney. I know you have some attorneys and legal team. If you want some confidential assistance, nobody's gonna know. At her, y'all. At her. She needs because I don't say nobody's gonna know because I'm not gonna tell her. I'm not gonna tell anybody. But yeah, you can do that. So number one, so she's got two things in her favor. What? Let me see. What was the other second? The second point of that. Hold on. Let me put it back up. So it was number one, they only sued her personally, and they can't add her individually later. So in the section, let me see if I can find it, where it does ask for a guarantor, that would have been where they would have named her or should have named her, and blah, blah, blah. It's all these pages, y'all. Actually, for those of y'all who are in my membership, I'm going to upload these documents to the membership Google Drive so y'all can like, look at these yourself. But yeah, they can't get paid from that. And then secondly, yep, these are the this and that. So sue her all you want. And secondly, it protects her house. They can't touch her house. If I were the landlord's lawyers, number one, I would have demanded anybody who's new at a business, you have to add the individual as a guarantor. It's the only way to guarantee you're going to get paid, is because if they had added Kenya Moore as an individual, as a guarantor, then they could attach to Moore Manor and effectively take Moore Manor if she did not pay. But they didn't. So good for Kenya.
So it's giving moral of the story. Both sides just need to cut their losses and go their own way, because
everybody go home. Everybody go home. Because listen, the truth is the landlord is winning because he now has a fully built out salon on the premises that was formerly attached to the Kenya Moore. And therefore, anybody who rents from that is going to get a level of foot traffic because it was, previously attached to Miss Moore, and he can get a premium on the. He gonna get way more than $5,000 a month because now it's fully
well over 10K.
Now, he can get. That's what I was gonna say. He could get 10,000 because it was fully, rented out. I mean, built out and done that over here. And then let me make sure I didn't forget anything else. Yep. So in other words, it looks like the landlord could win the lawsuit, but not collect. So it's a win. And they can't even put it on a credit. Baby, they can't even put it on a credit. Because she's not more media.
I hope she knows this stuff. I really do. I hope she knows that they can't threaten her and put it on her credit.
If y'all know Kenya, send her this video, y'all. Share it to her. Because here's the thing, y'all. Don't assume because someone has a lawyer that the lawyer has explained all of this. I say that because it's like doctors with bedside manner. Some doctors are really good at curing cancer and they're assholes in real life, or they're good at curing cancer, but they don't stop and explain like each treatment and each medication, what it's for, those types of things. One of my gifts as an attorney is I always build out teams for my clients. I have celebrity clients. I have clients, y'all wouldn't even know I'm their client because I don't allow myself to be put on the petition because I create confidential litigation strategy to whoop butts. Okay. My thing is winning. I don't want the credit because I don't want what comes with people saying, oh, Sam, I'm your lawyer. Well, I say that to say a lot of people, the reason I'm brought onto a lot of teams is my gift is explaining to the client in everyday language as their legal bestie, here are your options. Here are 2 strategies. Which do you feel more comfortable with? And so with this one with Kenya, media and otherwise, I'm like, fuck them. I'd be like, fuck that landlord. Fuck them. But I would say sue the contractors and take the contract from the contractors, and hopefully it has something called indemnity. Indemnity means if the contractor screwed her over, the contractors are responsible for paying the landlord. What you was going to ask me?
I'm going to ask because in Millie Chan's video, she pointed out all of the furniture and gowns and wigs, and we see the padlock on the door. And I think Toria asked in the comments too, is she entitled to get her belongings, her gowns, the wigs, the furniture that she's put inside?
Oh my gosh, this is so critical. And I'm gonna take the lawsuit off the screen as I explain this. Let me tell you. It depends on whether she's already been locked out. Now, I did see a lock on the door, like a key lock thing on the door. I couldn't tell if that closed it. If she has been locked out when it is a commercial lease, you don't get any of that. What happens is the landlord gets to take anything remaining on the premises and then sell it, auction it, or whatever. But the landlord must apply it to your past due rent.
Wow.
Yes. That happened to the Turkey Leg Hut here in Houston. And they had grills, stoves. They had like $100,000 worth of equipment that they were still paying on themselves. And part of the reason why they were so livid is the way that they got locked out. The federal court ruled, because they were filing bankruptcy, that the landlord could keep everything in there. Yep.
And I can't
Yeah.
tell either. I can't tell if that lock is a padlock. It looked like, it reminded me when I was going to look at homes. You know how they have that lock with the key in, where somebody can put the code in and show you the
Yes.
property. I'm like,
Yes,
are they
exactly.
show
That's what it
the
looks like when they're
property
trying to
already?
release the property.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Are they already trying to show the property and release it, or I can't
But
tell.
remember, that would actually be a good thing if they're trying to release it, lease it. That's a good thing, because that means they can't put her on the hook for 10 years of rent. And the law says the landlord, has to make a good faith effort to relet the premises. And wait a minute. Oh, I'm so smart. Oh my God, I'm so smart. I forgot about this. If the landlord, remember we talked about it. Oh, who's this smart little girl, smart woman here, says, Sister's Guide to Life says, absolutely, the landlord will get premium rent for the build out and the legacy tenant. If the new tenant, let's say, pays double rent, because now it's all built out. If they're going to pay $10,000 a month, they are required under the law to give Kenya a credit for what they get above what's owed to them. And that's fair. You don't get to get rich off of what she been through with the contractors and this, that, and the third. If you're able to get $10K a month in rent, you can't hold her for 10 years. And for that $10K, when you're calculating what should have been owed to you, you got to take off the fact that you got twice what you would have got from Miss Kenya.
So everybody go home. It sounds like everything is canceling each other out. Like
everybody go home. Everybody leave each other alone.
Because if they get 10K and her rent was only $4,700, if she gets credit for all the furniture and all the stuff inside, I mean, and she gets to walk away knowing this doesn't touch more men, and she gets to walk away with this not on her credit. I know she spent a lot of money on it, but sometimes, listen.
Yeah. Latoya asked, well, what if the contractor that she hired is not a legit contractor? Well, if they're not a legit contractor, it doesn't matter. You still have to get the signatures pursuant to the document. And then that would be between her general contractor and her. Like, she can go to the general contractor and be like, at the end of the day, GC, you are the one that caused all of this to happen. So that's why, y'all, literally, remember, I do background checks. You can come to me. I can even do them on contractors. Don't you let nobody fool around with your house without you doing a search on them. I made the mistake of doing that. And this guy made all kinds of mistakes. I was livid with myself because when I finally got to suing him, so I had to do a background check to sue him and find his address, I saw he was writing hot checks all over town and had been sued for his poor workmanship with other properties in the past. So I would have known if I had done that, y'all. Again, go to SimoneRedwine.com if you need that. It says, it's sad. She said on the show, she invested
Brooklyn's college fund. Yeah, like she did say that. Absolutely, Gracie. And now she's not on the show. The salon is not doing well. I can't wrap my mind around what it is she could be doing at this point to provide income other than Kenya Moore hair care. And she doesn't really even promote that like she used to. I would have to go to like Sally Beauty to see if she's still in there, because there were talks about her, her stuff being pulled from some stores, but she did a video saying that wasn't true. So I would have to go to my nearest one to see if she's still. I don't see her in my CVS. That could just be my CVS, but I'm concerned.
I am too. I'm just telling you guys. I know some people are like, you don't know this, I'm telling you, I was a business major. I worked in business before I became a lawyer. I've been practicing for like, was it 15, 18 years? Let me tell you, the way she didn't just wake up one day and be like, I'm going to open a hair salon. Someone presented, I will be your partner. and they were probably the partner for about 30 to 60 days and dipped. And this is too big of a feat for you to do on your own. So I say that to say, yeah, she definitely needs some support. I think she would do really good with the type of salon. There's a few. I'm gonna help some Black businesses. There's a salon called Pressed, Pressed. It was started by a Black woman that went to Harvard MBA, I believe. They started in Dallas, which is where I'm from. And it's a franchise that presses your hair. Like her working with one and just licensing. So maybe it's Kenya Moore Pressed or something where she works with an entity. Because the beauty, I get it. And she's got a demographic and her followers are loyal. It just sounds like who she partnered with sold her a bunch of onions, pretending they were candy apples.
Hell, she could have went to Ciara. She could have went over to Love and Hip Hop and got Ciara with Glam Shop, who is making numbers. That's right, in Atlanta. She could have teamed up with her. She could have teamed up with
Ciara is great. Ciara is great, but I have to say, when you get two big personalities like that, you got to have one upfront personality and one behind the scenes type person. You can't have two in the camera personalities. That don't ever work. Somebody says she should have brought her own building, start off small and build up from that. No, yes, but the problem is she don't have no time to create this concept from scratch, right? Someone presented aspects of it to her, and the problem is when they fail you. Just like when I bought my condo, and I was a single girl, and these contractors are like, "Oh, I can do this, and I'm by myself." No, everybody's trying to take advantage of you, especially when you've been on TV before. So, y'all figure out. I don't know how we can support Kenya. I don't know what endeavor she has going now, but she's gonna be back. She's going to be back on the Housewives because it was just like a little punishment, like naughty girl. Because the girl, I didn't watch it after she was gone. I'm gonna tell you, I didn't watch it. But the girl Britt, she's suing the show, right? She ain't even coming back, right?
But she sued, but the paperwork was she never even submitted the proof. Like it's not actually like Bravo.
Is again? Do we need to cover that next?
Yes,
do we need to cover that next?
Check the status of that, but Bravo was never even served. It was just like a submitted lawsuit that was just pending for her to submit the proof along with it, and she never even got to that point. And then she quit the show.
Probably what happened is the lawyer that she hired likely said, "Hey, I don't really want to go through a full trial because this sounds stupid. I will take your case."
Bravo.
Huh?
Nobody.
Who was it again?
Wins.
Oh no, but I've told y'all this before, right? When we talk about Nene, you can't sue a network and also ask to be back on that network. You got to pick. So it made sense that she sued them after they said, "We don't want you back, no way, ma'am."
Yeah,
we don't want you back, no way.
Be back because,
but I do believe.
Just what she showed on the show, it came out later that it wasn't even Britney in the explicit pictures that she showed at her hair spa grand opening. But I think it was still the intention that she had to show it. So I don't know, like.
So, oh, no. I think I remember what happened. No. If I remember correctly, we're going to check this out, Vanessa, and then we're going to come back to our friends here on the internet, and we're going to let them know what it is. If I remember correctly, she filed the lawsuit. And what happens is when you file a lawsuit, you don't have the clips, you don't have the anything. If I remember, she filed the lawsuit, and then it was determined it wasn't her in the stuff.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Let's get the documents. And run it. But when I heard that, I said, "Oh, her lawyer is running for the hills." Her lawyer said, "Bitch, I gotta go." She said, "Bitch, I gotta go," because there's no case there. You weren't harmed. So what happened is a lawyer probably took it on contingency, and then when it was discovered it wasn't even her in the video, that lawyer said, "Oh, I'm not handling this anymore." That would explain why Bravo was never served.
Yeah, they never were served. Kenya was already kicked off of the show, but it's still the intention behind it that I don't know if they would let her back, even if Britney is not there.
Hold on, it says Mariah sued and won. Mariah who sued what? Oh, that's the other show, Married to Medicine.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I missed it. How's that relevant?
I don't know what she meant by that. I don't know, Tori, if you're saying that it's not true that you sue Bravo and you're able to come back. I don't know if that's what you mean by
Mariah.
because Mariah sued.
Oh, she might
But
be, but
I don't know
no,
what she
Mariah
meant.
didn't come back. Mariah's not on it no more.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what she meant by
Mariah
if
is
that's
still
not true.
listed. She may still be listed as an executive producer, but that's a listing. Her
Oh,
face is
she's
not
saying
on
that
there.
because I said nobody sues Bravo and wins. Yeah, I just
Oh,
mean
oh,
more
oh, oh.
so.
Sorry, no. I'm agreeing that nobody sues Bravo and comes back on. I'm gonna say that. I'm not gonna say you don't win because I don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
looked at.
Yeah, and I mean she's one of the exceptions that Mariah did sue. So you're right. Mariah did sue and win. I think it's more so like we've seen Leah, we've seen Bethany, we've seen Caroline, we've seen Britt, we've seen all these
Wait,
people,
Bethany sued, but Bethany didn't sue till she was off, right?
yeah, yeah. And so a
I
lot
don't
of
know.
them don't sue until they're off. We've seen Brandy Maxwell. Like it's not
Wait,
easy to
Brandy
go
sued?
against
What's she sue about?
Brandy. Yeah, Brandy Maxwell sued as well. Like we've seen so many people try. Hell, we see Alexia's estranged ex-husband trying to sue right now. We see Kelly's ex-husband trying to sue right now, and it's like, mm-mm.
Yeah. All right, y'all.
And
You
Nene,
know
and
what?
she would
Drop
sue
down
her.
below in the chat and in the comments which of these lawsuits we're talking about y'all want to see us cover. Because I think I would. I didn't know Mariah sued and won. Now hey, I have no choice, y'all. I'm nosy. I'm
And to
Glanville, not
me,
Maxwell. Oh,
Mariah she was on the production of the show. She
yeah,
was more than just a person
that's
on the
right.
show. She
She
was
had
a
created a
producer.
concept.
Yeah,
Nene
yeah.
sued and didn't win. So let me clarify. Nene did sue. She didn't win because what happened, it was basically like a procedural matter. The gist was like when you're suing for employment law, you have to go through one process before you can go to another process. And if I remember correctly, she had to go through the state, all of the options on the state level before you can sue federally or whatever. But whatever happened is, whatever the procedural issue was, it was dismissed for that. And by dismiss, I put that in air quotes. She could still refile it, but there has been no refiling. Yeah.
I think she pretty much came out and said that she was dropping it. So
Yeah. Because she wants to be back on. And okay, I'll leave you guys with this example. Y'all remember Colin Kaepernick? And I know we got mostly ladies in the chat, so you may not necessarily remember, but Colin Kaepernick was the football player who kneeled, etc. And then there was a time where Jay-Z, and then he got blackballed from the NFL, straight up, no questions asked, blackball. Jay-Z then got him a tryout to get back on a team because his statistics showed there was no reason he shouldn't be on somebody's team. He had the skill, he had the prowess, he had all of this. But what happened was Colin refused to go to the tryout because they had presented him with a contract that was what he felt a non-traditional contract, and it was. And I was screaming to the top of my mind. I was like, I wish I could help him. Sign the contract, buddy, and go to the tryout. But the contract said if he does this contract and he gets picked by a team, he cannot sue the NFL. Well, here's the thing. That is the law. That correction, that's the requirement, because every team, every business that's corporate has employment law insurance. And that insurance says, don't you hire nobody that's going to make us walk into a lawsuit. So in order for Colin Kaepernick to actually be able to try out, he had to agree that if he did not get picked, he wouldn't file a new lawsuit. That was it. But I don't know that anybody ever explained that to him. So in the end, he didn't sign, he didn't try out, and we haven't seen him in the NFL since.
He's still doing good though, right? He wrote
He's
books.
doing great. And his wife
good.
is doing great. And she is rocking it with her podcast and her interviews. But my point is simply, sometimes you need a lawyer doesn't just know the law, but knows how to explain the law to you, to meet you at where you are and explain the law to you in your own words, like your legal bestie or your legal homeboy, so that you feel comfortable agreeing to whatever it is that you need to be able to get your next opportunity. That's all.
Yeah. And that's why every time a scandal comes across my desk, I have to text it to you and say, can you put this in English to me? Because right now it's lawyer Chinese. Please put it in English.
Lawyer Chinese. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you so much for watching. V, tell them where they can find you.
Again, my name is V with Reality Recap. It's reality. That's TEA_recap on Instagram, Facebook, and on TikTok. My YouTube channel is reality_recap 2876, covering all reality TV shows, your favorite trending shows, topics, scandals, you name it. You can get the tea from me.
Awesome. Y'all check her out. And don't forget, you can always reach me at SymoneRedwine.com, Symone with a Y. Instagram, I'm at Attorney Symone Redwine. If you have a real estate closing anywhere in the state of Texas, consider us Experience Title / the Redwine Law Firm, and you can call us at 214-575-8300 or book your own private consultation with me as well. Background checks as well. Yes, you can book background checks on my website, SymoneRedwine.com. The paid background checks are $200. You also get a 30-minute consultation with me for that. However, you can win a free background check by filling out the form right there on the YouTube link. I also pin it under the comments. You can fill that out. We're looking for new people to come on anonymously or unanonymously to the show. Y'all take care. It's your legal bestie, Attorney Symone. And this was Girl Is That Legal, along with V with Reality Recap.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.